Hey guys, it's Karen. It is day 35, I believe, of my 100 Days of Making Comics challenge. Um, I haven't gotten a lot accomplished today. I inked this guy here, but I'm still not settled on if I'm really going to ink in this style. And so I've been just kind of, I don't know why I'm not satisfied. I don't know what is going on with me. I don't know. So that's where I am today. I just don't know. So I've been messing around with different brushes. Unsure of what I'm doing. I don't know. So I don't even really have anything to say at the moment. I'm really tired today. It's been raining here all day, and I'm just, ugh. I didn't get to sleep till like 4:30 last night, which was stupid on my part. There was really no reason for it. I just couldn't sleep. And so yeah. So I'm just blah. So anyway. Oh, crikey. So I'm just going through all my brushes, trying to figure out what I want to do. I just feel like it's a little too, here's my dilemma. My work is very stiff and almost sometimes it has like a Nagel-esque quality in the sense that it's got that 80s, I'm not comparing myself to Nagel because like he's amazing. But if you know who he is. But there is that stark, like I'm either messy, sloppy, or I'm that stark style. And yeah, he's a Bethy. Yeah, I'm frustrated with the video game too. So I had to give up and come upstairs and mess around. They pissing me off is basically what was going on. I kept running up against teams that were like, I was on teams of like absolute noobs. Not that I'm like super good, but and then we were up against people who all had like the same, they were clearly like gamer, like a part of a gamer faction because they all had like similar names like GCR Pirate, GCR something. And so they were really working together and like kicking our ass, um and I kept trying to be like a specialist and because I'm trying to level up the gun and stuff, but I couldn't because they were killing me. And then so I had to play officer so I could support everybody so we could actually like progress as a team, which was so I could actually play, which was really frustrating because that's not what I wanted to do. And yes, you're right. It is because I spend so much time making it perfect. It does strangle the life out of things. So the question that I'm having is, if I give myself more of a brushy brush or a dip pen like brush, will it give it the humanity that little lack, that humanity back that it needs, that little bit of uncertain line or wiggle, so it doesn't look quite so sterile? And that's what I'm messing with today. That's what I've been thinking about. Because I'm still going to work tight. I have to embrace that fact that I am a tight artist, and that's fine. But so I'm trying to find a brush that like I can be happy with. Because I could use these micron type things for the back, for like the sterile parts of the drawing, you know, like the background. Yeah, I am type A about my art. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It's It's a problem. It's kind of a disease, really. It's like crushing perfectionism, right? Which is what's held me back from doing comics for so long because I just assumed that everybody would, because I can't do it to the level that I personally want it to be, that everybody else would hate it, and so therefore it wouldn't be valuable. And so this challenge this time around, and I'm running up against it right now, as you can see, I'm futzing with this page really bad. So, because I know there needs to be a balance of where I feel comfortable, but workable. What is this brush? Some kind of G pen, some kind of downloaded G pen. I don't know the name of it. And again, a lot of these imperfections, when zoomed down, scaled down, will be less noticeable. And overall, somebody's going to be like looking at the page and not seeing. They're going to be looking at like the story, not like how I made every single freaking line. Only like obsessive artists do that. So, but I'm just not happy. I don't know. Better to do it now in the first couple pages and then settle into something than get like halfway through and be so frustrated I give up. So that's why I'm kind of like taking a little extra time right now to futz around with this. I don't think your comic technically is trash. That's now you sound like me, Missy. I do like your comic a lot. I think I admire your comic for the things that I don't have, like, you know, the energy of your lines, the going for it, the organicness of it, the non-stiffness, and I really like the way you draw your women. Yeah, so I think that's why I think like I see in your comic what I want to be doing with mine, and you know. And I love that demon, that bad demon that's on that you just did on the most recent update. That guy, girl, that entity, it's a great, I love that guy, girl, entity. So, yeah. What is this pen? This is another G pen that I downloaded, so it has some kind of Japanese name that I don't know. It's really stiff. Here's the other thing. My wrist was hurting last night. And so I'm also, if I'm going to be doing pages after pages plus my other commission work, I need to find a pen that I push really hard. I do it traditionally as well. I push really hard. And I don't want to hurt myself. So I'm thinking if I use a less stiff brush, I'm going to have to be forced to lighten up on my touch to make it look the way I want it. This one's a really stiff brush, so I can't use this one. Get a brace. Yeah, it's because I have my Cintiq popped up at the lowest angle, because so that I don't have it up all the way. If I was drawing, okay, so what am I trying to say? Like, so when I was in school and I was doing fine art for my degree and stuff, you know, I drew everything standing up or seated on a bench with my art propped up or standing at an easel. But, you know, when you're working like that, you're working from your shoulder more and your elbow, your forearm, whatever, more than you are your wrist and your fingertips. And like, so here my arm is like resting on the page. And I do try when I'm like making large broad lines to work from my shoulder more, but so not only am I working from my wrist, I've got it cocked up at a funny angle because it's tilted a little bit. So you use both, you're ambidextrous? Is that true? You use both your left and right hand? What is this weird brush? No, it's technically a pencil. Interesting. There might be some more pens I could go look at. I know. So this is a dip pen. I don't like it. Wow. That's amazing. Are you like that with everything? Or did you train yourself that way or what? So this is technically a pencil as well. It's got some strange correction on it. Oh, like, it's a strange pen. Why did I download this? Very strange. It's a pencil. It's good for making. It's really good for making action lines. That's why I. This is the action line brush. It says it's a marker. I must have wrote marker. That's what I did. This is what I'm using for my other stuff. It's technically a pencil. And does it have the stinking? No, it doesn't. Yeah, that brush, that was some kind of downloaded thing from the Clip Studio assets. This brush I'm using a lot for a lot of things, but I didn't necessarily want to use it for this. I don't know why. That's a bad teacher that you had, forcing you. Oh, I just don't know today. I've just been headachy all day and tired and grumpy. Oh, shit. Yes, I need the pity. I need all the pity. Pity me, pity me. You have? Aw. Thank you. I really want to get moving on. I really want to just get moving on this, but so frustrated. It'll be better tomorrow because my husband's going to be in town all weekend, and I will sleep. I will probably like catch up on my sleep. That's usually what happens. I think I've like stayed up way too late, and last night, and I'm just like jet lagged, I think. So, all right, I'm gonna go back into the Dobbs really quick. I'm gonna mess around one more time, trying to find something. Usually, I prefer using like an analog type brush, one that's got a bit of a fuzziness to it. That also I feel like helps with the look of things being not so stiff in my work. I like these brushes, but her ears are jacked. I don't know why I did that. Let's go ink this dude over here really quick and see. He is a vinyl record junkie, and because of that, he buys and sells records, used records, and then he sells them at record shows. And last weekend he was gone all week because he was in Chicago selling records. He had tables at a couple record shows. This weekend he doesn't have any shows, so he's home. He's a journalist. He works 10 9 to 5 on the weekdays and stuff. And then he sells records on the side because it's his passion, his hobby. But now I'm not sure if I like this, but if I zoom out, do I like it? That's going to change the whole look of everything. What is it, Stone Age 2? Could be that it's just too... Let's see if I drop the size down to 60. Lock that. She did. That is so sweet. What kind? The wine has gold in it, like real flakes of gold. Oh my God, that's so funny. Well, did you guys already raise a glass and toast to your new chapter? Or are you waiting to partay on the weekend? Partay on the weekend. Well, it's probably already the weekend there, isn't it? Wait a minute. It's 12:41 here, so that's 12:41 p.m. plus another 4 hours. So it's 4:41. 4:41 p.m. there? All right. I'll be around for a while. So Bethy's gonna partay. I think I might use this brush. It's sort of like the combination of the things that I want. A little bit of line weight, but also very, I don't know. Let's just ink this whole panel and see what I think. Just don't zoom in close, Karen. Don't do it. Stay out. Stay out of the light, Karen. These things are obscene. Oops. I don't know about this. Stabilization on. I don't want stabilization. Stabilization makes the lines look better at all, but it fights. You fight it, and then you end up pushing harder. And you can't do curves as easily. I don't want these to look like carrots on his face, but I need some kind of All right, I'm in on the background. Woohoo! Unfortunately, I wish I was more entertaining tonight. I'm just so mellow and tired. This dude's kind of ugly. I have to say it. He might be handsome man for his race, though. I don't know. I don't want to judge you, dude. I'm sorry. I'm a bad lady. Maybe in his culture, men are, or males, I should say, are judged on the size of their appendages. And perhaps he is a verifiable stud. I don't know. I also think I just like phoned in this arm and I need to probably do something better with it. So I'm going to actually see what a human looks like in this brush and then I will make my determination. Just don't zoom in, Karen. Just don't do it. Don't zoom in. Don't go to 100%. Stay at 50 or less. So for Free Comic Day, I went and picked up free comics, but there's a comic that I used to love in the 90s called Strangers in Paradise. And when I stopped collecting, it had not completed its run. And so I never knew how the story ended up. But apparently it finished up while I was away from collecting. And I used to love this comic. And I was like blown away by the art back then. And so there was I guess the story's gonna start up again. So there was like a free comic book day version, like a one-off issue to start the new storyline. And I was excited about it because, it's my favorites. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can get the trade and then like catch up and then start collecting again or wait till it comes out in trade or whatever he's going to do. I'm not even sure. I haven't even like looked. But I finally got around to reading the free one. And I was really disappointed in the art. I mean, God, I don't want to say that because he's amazing, but it wasn't like I remembered. And so I went and I got the trade of the first that I have, of the first issues. And I compared them. And he has changed his style a little bit. So, with his inks. And I don't know why. It's very similar. It's really subtle. But he's still using some heavy blacks. I mean, like line weights. But not as much. It's like he's using a different pen or something. I don't know what he's doing. And so I was really, I don't know. So I'm not as happy with it. But, you know, part of the strength of his book was always his innovative story, and the characters were awesome. So I kind of want to know, like, if there's a reason why he's changed it up. I mean, everybody's style changes over the years, and it is minor. It's a minor thing. But I was like, why is he no longer doing? Why does it all look so, it's very scratchy looking, I guess is the thing. I'm going to take a look at it. And his art's always been like that. It looks like, but it's like, I mean, he's got spotted blacks in here, and he does have line weights. Oh, chickpeas are the bomb, by the way. I live on hummus. I like literally live on hummus right now because I'm a lazy vegan, and so, well, okay, I'm a lazy, very, very strict vegetarian, let's put it that way, because I eat honey, so I'm not technically a vegan 100%, but it's, so, okay, so I've got his new one here. I'm looking at it, and let me grab, I gotta take my headphones out. The creator Terry Moore of Strangers in Paradise, and it's a subtle, it's not like he totally changed his style, it's really subtle. So let me grab the first trade I have, hold on. Strangers in Paradise. So he doesn't use as many. Okay, here's the difference. So if I'm looking at it now, the difference is that his lines were more flowy. And he used a thicker pen. And yeah, his lines were more, not organic, curvilinear, more sensuous. That's, which suited rock on to you vegetarian lovelies. Way to go. I gotta tell you, I do miss the cheese. So he used, it looks more like, so he had more line weights. His lines were more sinuous and sensual and curvy. And these have more grays in it. Now, I don't know if that's something that was added after or if this was in the original. These are shaded. I don't remember if the original like floppies were shaded or if it was all just black and white. So that, I'm trying not to look at that though. I'm just trying to like compare line quality. And his newer stuff is more angular and scratchy. Or this new one compared to his old one. So, and I prefer the look of his old style, his old art. Yeah, cheese is the one thing that I still miss. I don't miss anything but cheese. And even then I don't, it's sort of like I miss cheese the way because I used to smoke. I miss cheese the way I now miss cigarettes. Not like with a deep longing or anything, but so anyway, that is my, I don't know why so there's nothing necessarily bad. Oh, you're lactose intolerant. Here's my problem with cheese. So here in the States, I don't know if they do it there, but in the store-bought cheese, now in the last few years, they've started putting an additive into the cheese called natamycin. Natamycin. And natamycin is a mold inhibitor. I dream about cigarettes still. I don't want them in real life, but I dream about them. And not very often. I've been smoke free since before I was married, so like almost 20 years. But so they're in the cheese. Sargento and Kraft and those big companies now put something called natamycin in it, and they put it in their slices and their shredded cheese, and sometimes even their block cheeses, and sometimes in Parmesan cheese and whatever. And I'm allergic to that. So I didn't start out being allergic to that, but I had the Z-Pak antibiotic one time when I was sick, and apparently the Z-Pak antibiotic is related to natamycin, and so I had a reaction to the Z-Pak, and then I had a reaction to the natamycin, and so now before I went vegan, every time I went to the dang restaurants or something, and I have to say, or anybody's house, and they cooked, I'd have to say, can you take a look and see if your cheese that you used contains natamycin? And people be like, nata what now? And I'm like, okay, natamycin. So I'd usually have to write it down on something, and it became such a huge pain in the ass that now if I go to Whole Foods or something, they're not allowed to have, they don't have anything, no additives like that on their cheeses. So I could get it there, but it's expensive. But literally every time I go and I want a salad or something, if I was just going to be vegetarian, or I'd have to ask. And 9 times out of 10, it was in the cheese, because they bought the commercially packaged, the restaurant had like commercial chunks of Sargento or Kraft or something. It's, no, this thing is, so like, I'm not allergic to like the cellulose powder or whatever they put on stuff to prevent caking. It's specifically a natamycin thing. It's natamycin, which is related to, it's in the same class of things as the Z-Pak antibiotic is. And so if you look at the, it's not an anti-caking thing, it's a mold inhibitor. It's supposed to kill mold so that mold doesn't grow on the cheese. So they can have a long, a stable shelf life. It's some kind of bacterium or something that you get out of the ground. I think when I looked it up, in fact, my allergy doctor had to look it up because he had never heard of it. It's a pretty, but I expect that more people are probably going to end up being allergic to it. So anyway, that being vegan instead of vegetarian was one of the things that just made life easier, because now I can just say I can't have dairy. I don't have to go through the whole rigmarole. And I'm like, you people don't even like, so many people have never heard of it because so many people don't read the labels. Even like any Sargento or Kraft cheese that you buy at the grocery store, it has it in it. And people they just buy it and they don't look at the labels, so they've never heard of it, even though they're probably eating it every single day. And it was really frustrating. So that was one extra added benefit of going vegan rather than vegetarian, is I didn't have to mess with it anymore because it was such a pain in the ass. But out here in the Midwest, a lot of people still don't really know what vegan is, although it's getting more and more common. So I usually just say, I can't have dairy, it makes me sick. I basically claim sometimes that I'm lactose intolerant because it just makes it easier. Don't put the cheese on there. It'll make me sick. So they usually tend to listen to that more than, I don't want any cheese. Because then they'll forget. And then it comes back. And then I have to return a salad or something like, because I put the cheese on it. But yeah, makes me violently ill, that stuff. I hate it so much. So have you never read Strangers in Paradise? Have you never seen it? So I just want to wrap up my thoughts on that by saying his art is nowhere near bad or anything. It's a taste thing where I prefer his lines in his older work compared to now. And I might not even mind it if I had never seen his older work. And it was just really influential on me when I was young, that his art and his comic book. And so I'm hypercritical or hyper observant of it. And I wonder why it's different. Yeah, it's it starts out, it's a relationship between two high school best friends, and it develops into something more, and it was pretty groundbreaking back in the day. So, and it was angsty as all hell because one of them was straight at first. And I didn't read the end of it. When I was still reading it, they had not gotten together, but it seems like maybe they did finally, based on the Free Comic Book Day thing. So I don't know. But I'm not 100% sure because I never finished the story arc. So, but he was groundbreaking because it was like in the 90s. And back then in the 90s, people weren't writing stories about homosexuality as much, mainstream. And B, everybody was doing superhero shit. And, it was back in the 90s when all the people were being drawn, like, before Jim Lee got like Total Mad Skills, and all those guys were drawing like Liefeld, and they were all drawing those women that were completely with guys with like a million muscles and 50 million pouches all over their outfits, and and he was drawing realistic people doing a realistic story. I mean, it was slice of life, but it became something more than just slice of life because it had action adventure elements in it, but it was still, for the most part, slice of life and dealt with personal conflicts and love. And I just loved it very much. But I didn't finish it, so maybe I would change my mind. I don't know. I'll have to find the rest of the trades. Maybe I can get... I don't like buying the books anymore. I don't like having... because I've got just too much junk. So I'm trying to get PDFs of everything. So I might try to find the PDF of it. See if there's a digital copy somewhere that I could purchase and catch up on the series since he's starting up again. So it was like the main character, Francine, Francine was a brunette, and she was plump. She wasn't heavy. She wasn't thin. She was, she was an every woman. And Kachu was very short, beautiful blonde, and it was really good. Yeah, most of my books got ruined. I have one small box left of books from that era that did not get ruined. So that, I mean, when that happened, I just sort of lost my will to collect. And I didn't have, I couldn't replace all that. And so, now I'm trying to play catch up on a lot of it, but I'm only going to do it. I want to play catch up on a lot of it, but I'm going to do it digitally if possible, because I don't want to have... I mean, if you've seen the background of my office right now, it's a complete disaster because I had to move some stuff around, and I've got like boxes and boxes of yarn because I knit and crochet, and I've got tons of jewelry making supplies, and I don't have any room on my bookshelves for my books, and so that stuff's like locked away, and I've had to give away so many of my things because we have a small house and we just don't have the room. And I don't really need it anymore. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to downsize and live more minimalistically. I couldn't be a complete minimalist, but I'm trying to get it better. But This year, I just have not had the willpower. I have the desire, but I don't have the energy to make inroads on it. So I usually think about things for months, and then I suddenly all get like a burst of energy and then like obsess over it till it's finished. And then, but I had to move, I brought a chair up in here, and then we were going to move it downstairs. And then, I mean, I just haven't, I don't know, whatever. So I'm embarrassed every time I show my office because it looks like a tornado hit. And so, yeah, it's got to the point where we're like being choked by too much stuff, you know? So we all of us, everybody, my three of us, my husband, me, and my son, we all really need to pare down. And I keep saying I'm going to do it like this summer, and it hasn't happened yet. But next week, I'm going to try to at least make a dent on his room. We need to, he's 11, so he's at that phase where he spends most of his time like with video games and Legos, but he's got other toys, but he's got all these toys that he doesn't play with anymore because he's like older now. So, and yet he can't bear to be parted with them. So they're just like, oh my God, his room, it's a disaster. So I want to get bins and put them down in the basement, like just put it all away in the basement. I'd really like to just get rid of it, but he's not emotionally ready to do that. So I want to try to get it all out and down in the basement at least, so he has more room in his room again, because he's got a tiny bedroom. But again, the energy level has not been there. And he has zero interest in cleaning, obviously. He's 11. So unless I get off my ass and do it, it is not going to get done. Do you rent it, or do you guys own that house? Oh, see, I think this looks like shit right here. Oh, it's killing me. Christ. Oh my God. 700K. God, it sounds like California. Like it's like that in California here. Ugh. Well, it's a small country, right? So space is at a premium. Yeah, that's why we bought our house years ago, because the mortgage was cheaper than the rent. But now we're stuck in it, right? So, which is kind of a bummer. So this pen is very analog looking. When you zoom in at 100%, you can see it kind of looks sort of like, you can see kind of like paper green through it, and which I think helps it look less dead than what my other lines were doing. But I don't know. Shit, 20% on a $1 million home? That's outrageous. Yikes. Are you guys planning on living there forever? In New Zealand? This is the Daub from the Daub set that I purchased a long time ago when I got this program, called Stone Aged 2. Well, now my lines don't look dead anymore. I mean, yeah, the USA right now. Don't come back right now. Don't come back right now. Wait a few if you're going to come back. I mean, this pen, so everything looks more like less dead, but it doesn't look, does it look as professional as it did, or does it look like less professional or finished? Does it look unfinished? Or does it look like finished lines? I don't know. That's, yeah, no, don't, if you got a good thing over there right now, stay. Don't come back. Well, you're from here originally, right? Or you lived here before, right? Isn't that what you said? Come back when things have settled down into sanity again. If you're going to come back. My husband, I don't know. He would like to travel and stuff. I'm afraid of flying, so. Oh, you're from California. So you know all about California. What part of California were you in? What's going on with my computer? Why are you beeping at me? Yeah, free healthcare, man. Why are you beeping at me, phone? What are you doing, iTunes? Sure, go ahead. Update my phone. I'm not using it at the moment. Go ahead. Enter the passcode on Karen's iPhone to continue this update. Okay. See, I zoom in at 100% and then I hate the lines. Yosemite. Really? So I lived mostly out west growing up. I lived all over the place and I'm in Indiana now. But I grew up in Colorado mostly for the longest stretch, even though I was born in California. But I only lived there till I was 2, so that doesn't count. I don't think I've been to, I haven't been to Yosemite. I've been to Yellowstone though. Oh, I cannot draw this line. I need to turn my canvas. So are you guys opening up that bottle of wine tonight then? Or did you guys already do that? I'd be afraid to drink that gold. I wonder if your body processes any of it. Like if you actually, do we need gold as a mineral in our body? Or does it just get like expelled? Because I know we need like silver, right? And copper. But gold, I don't know. You know I'll probably end up doing a Google search for this later, right? You know you're going to send me down some kind of crazy rabbit hole of the internet, right? On my hunt for gold and wine and the effects of gold in the body. Ugh. For years using Photoshop, because I've been doing digital art for like since like friggin' the early 2000s. And for years I couldn't, Photoshop didn't have the rotate canvas tool, and now it does, which is like amazing. And so I really got out of the habit of flipping my canvas around to aid in my inking and painting or whatever, so that I can ink a line in the natural direction that my hand curves and my wrist curves. And sometimes I just forget and I just struggle. And then I go, oh yeah, turn the canvas, Karen. Turn the canvas. Turn it this way so that you can make a nice curve on this line. Why would I be afraid of gold? I'm not. Just because I have I'm anxious about everything. So, but I guess if I was drinking the alcohol, it would make me not anxious. Really. Where is gold in our body, huh? Yeah, see, I figured it was safe. Otherwise, I wouldn't put it in there. But I just... I'd have to look it up, and then I'd have to be like, oh. Of course, the effects of drinking the alcohol would make me not anxious, and so then it would like be a moot point, right? Nobody try to call me because my phone is updating. Ha ha. I know, poor anxious Karen. Poor anxious Karen needs to be medicated so she's not so anxious. I don't like it. I don't like being anxious. It's the worst. You should have seen me when... and I don't really like taking medicine either. When I gave birth, I wanted to do it natural. I really didn't want to have an epidural and all that. But I couldn't take it anymore because they had to induce my labor and it was awful. So I gave in and got an epidural, but I was freaking out because I didn't want it. Oh my God, I was freaking out so hard. And I was freaking out so much, and because I could feel it, it was cold as it went into my back, and oh my God. And the anesthesiologist was actually like irritated with me because I really didn't want it. Because I was anxious. They should have slipped me a Mickey first. Like when I had to be put under for a routine to check, to like, I don't know, they had to scope out my, what is it called? They had to check my esophagus because of acid reflux and all that, you know. And I was freaking out because I was convinced, or I started to have a panic attack because I was worried that I would be one of the one in like a million people that actually doesn't go under for the anesthesia. I'm like terrified of that. That I am one of the one in a million people that would, you know, be awake during the procedures and feel everything. And so yeah, so I think if I ever have to have any kind of serious thing, they're gonna have to like, I think, give me something to calm me down first. Oh yeah. I had one that I had when they were trying me on one of them, I had a really bad reaction to. And it made my problem worse. And I've actually never gotten over the effects of that one, really. So it sucks. Sometimes it's a challenge. Oh, is that right? Your uncle is a boss, huh? I don't think I've ever had Goldschlager. Oh, look, his ears are not equal. It's going to bug me. I'm a total lightweight now. No, I don't drink at all anymore. I used to be a total drinker. But now I do not drink. And I mean, I don't have anything against it, or really. I just don't. Every time I buy alcohol, I just don't, I don't drink it. The only time I drink now is if I'm out with people. And I can't drink wine anymore because the sulfites hurt me, make me sick. So I especially can't have reds. I can still do vodka though. So, you know, although I'm such a lightweight now that ah, no. Oh, geez, really? That you had a bad reaction, huh? Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how everybody's different. Like for some people that would work just fine, and other people it messes them up. You know, it's like, and then it's so hard having to go through all the like to find the right one. Sometimes it's just it's hard. Yeah, the one I don't even remember what it was now, but the one that I had that like didn't work freaked me out like wicked bad. I had a really awful reaction. Vodka, vodka. Vodka martinis. Dirty or with a twist. Yeah, I mean, it is so individual. When my grandmother, she passed away a couple years ago, but she was like almost 90 when she passed away. And she kept going into the, she'd fall or something and she'd have to go to the, or she'd get a UTI and she'd have to go to the freaking hospital and then the nursing home, like if she broke her hip or whatever, when she broke herself, she had terrible osteoporosis, right? So every time she sneezed, she was in danger of breaking something. So, and she was living at home with some care, but they took her, every time she went into the nursing home, they'd put her on medication and suddenly she had dementia. And everybody swore that she had dementia. And oh my God. And every single time I would hear this, you know, because she'd be crazy. She'd be absolutely freaking crazy, doing and saying crazy things. And I'd say, what medicine is she on? Because she's not like this at home. She's, you know, she's only like this at the, get her off the medicine and I bet she'll be fine. And lo and behold, every single time, they'd take her off the medicine and she was fine. And yet and I don't remember which one it was. I think the opiates and stuff were a doozy on her and something else. And every time it was like, oh, the sky is falling. She has dementia. She's, you know, this is it. She's going to have to stay in there. She's totally crazy. She's like hitting the nurses and then they take her off the medicine and she'd be like normal again. And, so yeah, it's like amazing what medicines do to people. Yeah, no, the key to a martini is you just wave the vermouth over the glass. You make the martini, just like the tiniest drop. Just just the vermouth fumes over the martini. I don't like a lot of, I can't stand, it has to just be like a tiny tiny bit of vermouth for me. Or lots of olive juice, real dirty. Then you don't really taste the vermouth as much. But yeah, it's crazy how everybody reacts differently to meds and everybody's body chemistry. And she was like a redhead, and I know that redheads are more susceptible um, to some drugs, painkillers and things. It's like been proven scientifically or something. So Oh my God. You don't screw around with penicillin allergies. That's not good. I was going to get the flu shot this last year. In the pharmacy I go to, the dude who was the pharmacist that ran it, he's a real dick. And I've never liked him. For Anyway, I had too many run-ins with him, but I wanted to get the flu shot, and I know that my son used to be allergic to eggs. He no longer is. So for a long time he couldn't get the flu shot, which is fine because he hates the shot anyway, blah blah blah. So I was going to get it, and then I thought to myself, every year I get the flu shot. I don't get it every year, but the years that I do get the flu shot, my arm kills me for like a couple weeks after at the injection site, and I think I might be having an allergic reaction there or something. But anyway, so I was like, look, can you check and make sure that it doesn't have the natamycin? Because I was thinking to myself, I wonder if they put that in there as a preservative. And so he had no idea. So he had to get out because once again, nobody's ever heard of it. And so he went and he got the ingredients list, and he poured over it for a while, and then he found that it didn't have natamycin, and I don't remember what it has now, but it had something with the sin. It was in the same family as the antibiotic I can't have and the natamycin. It had that same, it was that same type of class of thing. And I said, oh, I'm not gonna, no, I better not do it. And it was a free flu shot through my insurance. So, and I said, no, I better not do it because I don't want to get ill. It is like the worst. When I have that stuff, the reaction is like, I get very sick. And I was like, there's just no way. And he's like, well, do you have like anaphylaxis? Is it life threatening? And I'm like, well, it hasn't been so far, but if you know anything about allergies, the more you're exposed to something, the more your chances of having anaphylaxis can go up. And I've already been allergic to 2 of the things in this class of, I'm not going to chance it. Plus, I don't want to be violently ill. I'd rather get the flu, quite frankly. I feel better with the flu than I do on this shit. So I just couldn't believe it. He kept trying to push it to me, like that same point. But you don't have anaphylaxis on it, right? So, you could. I'm like, no, dude, I don't fucking want it. I was so mad. What kind of an asshole? Ugh. He did not care about my well-being. He only cared about pushing the flu shot. Maybe he was getting some kind of a push, a bonus for number of flu shots given out or something. I don't know, but I was really angry. That kind of crap just that medical professionals sometimes engage in really makes me angry. You can't have the flu shot? Are you allergic to it or something? Don't get me wrong, I don't like the flu. Nobody does. It's miserable. We all got the swine flu when it came out. Right away. That freaking sucked. So I was like, if I survive the swine flu, I'll be fine without the flu shot. Oh, you have a latex allergy. Hey, Ox, how are you? Ox is rocking it on the challenge right now. What are you on day 60 something or 70? I was going to ask you, I think I watched your stream today, and I was going to ask you, Ox, if you're in Iowa, right? Did you get any of that bad tornado weather that happened yesterday, or was it yesterday that the tornadoes hit? 74. Dude, it's killing it. Sabethi's going to be there soon, 74. Not soon, but you know what I mean. Well, that's good because I follow a bunch of I'm like obsessed with tornadoes and natural disasters and volcanoes and all that crap. And I follow a bunch of storm chasers on the social medias, and it was crazy. I think it's been a pretty quiet tornado season right now, though. So Bethy's been counseling me through my angst about which inking brush to use on this thing. So I've been all angsty about it tonight. But I think I'm just going to go with this one for now and just say the heck with it, I guess. Or I'll never get done. Ox, you should do a video soon about your experiences so far on Webtoons and how you're finding it. I don't, because you're going to be putting up issue 4 soon, or you already did, and I've been on Tapastic or Tapas now, whatever it's called, but I've never done Webtoons, and I'm curious. Especially, did you enter the contest? I don't know what the main Ox might know, but so from what I gather, Webtoons the, is the U.S. version of a very successful South Korean um, online comic thing, and they will pay creators a living wage if they and sign contracts with you as a publisher, but you can um, do free stuff on there. But I think the difference for me, just from like a casual user of both of them, because I have my silly animal comic strip up on Tapas, but I haven't been updating it, is that Tapas seems more like indie people and Western and indie people, and Webtoons is more manga, anime. Both of them seem to have lots of like love stories and slice of life things geared to younger 20 somethings. I think Tapas tried to like monetize, but I don't, and they have some kind of monetizing system, but I don't think they sponsor or like public, quote unquote, publish people the way Webtoons does. But I haven't checked into it. I don't know what they've been doing in the last couple of years, really, since I sort of like bailed on my. I got to get back to my comic because my kid likes it, but maybe I should have done that for my 100 days of comics. Finished redoing all my, because I have 50 strips done from years ago. I just need to put them up. I redo them and put them up. Maybe I should have done that. I probably would have been smarter. But anyway, but maybe Ox now has more insight than I do because I haven't looked at them in a while. Okay, is that? Yeah, I think I noticed that your Patreon was linked on there. Do you feel like do you have anything up on Tapas too, or do you just have? Are you just doing Webtoons? There's some kind of monetary system that I don't like get involved with on Tapas where you have some kind of coins or something that you can have premium content and you can buy premium content. I don't pay any attention to that. I only read the indie stuff that's free. So, and I think in both places people are fairly good about commenting, but I mean, to get like lots of followers and stuff, you need to, I don't know, you need to have the right kind of comic, I think, or go into it with a built-in audience. It seems like when Jason Brubaker, who's was doing Sithra on there, he's pretty open about the whole situation on all of his YouTube videos and stuff. But even then, I felt like he didn't get the attention on Webtoons that his comic deserved. But he still was, he had a lot of attention. But but it wasn't the typical stuff that's popular up there. It wasn't like a, relationship driven anime love story, slice of life, paranormal. Oh, you are? You're going to re-upload on Tapas. Okay. Have you noticed so you've got them in two different formats. Have you noticed any difference on like initial response between, like, would you say that you get more comments on Tapas versus Webtoons or vice versa? Or I mean, I think like anything, the more active you are on a social site like YouTube or anything else, the more friends you make, the more follows you have, the more likes you give to people and comments, the more you're going to get reciprocated, because you're going to be like linked on other people's feeds and they're going to come check you out. And, so I think it's, typical of, oh, I just don't know. Consistency. Do you upload on the same day and time every week? So do you have all 8? You're working on 9. So do you have 8 done then? So I guess it's going to be a while. I'm thinking, are you just uploading an entire issue, and then are you going to be out of content where you're creating new and then having to upload that whole? How are you going to handle that when you get to issue 9? Go lay down, dog. I'm not ready yet. I'm talking. You wait. I think I should make this go like this. I mean, I know that for wherever you put a webcomic, it's just sort of like a blog, or, it's always better, or even YouTube videos, if you're going to like live stream consistently, it's always better to have a set weekly time and place where people can expect. Like if you're going to do video uploads, or you're going to have like, every Saturday night at 10 o'clock, I'm going to live stream, da 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 da, so that people know when to tune in and they can expect it. I know, I mean, that's like, I think whatever platform you're on, consistency, like Ox said, is really important, which I am not good at. So 6, you're going to, okay, November. Wow. So how many issues is this going to be total before you wrap it up? Or is it just always going to be ongoing? Or is this project, does it have an end? I don't remember. I'm sorry. Why are you growling? Wait a minute. Guys, I'm probably going to have to go in a little bit because the dog is going to drive me nuts soon if I don't. But I'm going to stay for a few more minutes and then make her wait. Make her suffer. Make her suffer. Because she was bad earlier. Bad girl. Stop it. Don't you sit there and whine. Every midnight you upload your video, but you suck at interacting. Well, you've been pretty stressed out, so, when you're juggling a million things, it's hard. I've been catching your updates with Jan, Ox, and I'm digging. I'm waiting to see that, if you guys are gonna manage to meet the challenges or if there will be penalties incurred. Please be quiet, okay? In a minute. Come here. Uh-oh, you both have penalties? Uh-oh. Come here. Up. All right, sit down and behave yourself, okay? Just stop. on my thing here. I know. Just sit down. Let me finish this, okay? Sit. I'm not going to pet you. Just sit. If you're going to sit here, just sit. Sit. I want to see what this looks like with this brush up here. Just chillax, please. Sit down or lay down, one of the two. Oh my God, you're killing me, dog. Careful. Yeah, she's bored. She wants me to go down and pay attention to her, but I'm gonna stay for a little bit longer. You know, Ox, I've been meaning to ask, like, do you do digital at all, or are you just a traditional artist? Spoiled rotten pup is the thing. Can you guys imagine with my perfectionist problems if I tried to do traditional, how bad? Like, I would never get anything done. But you guys are making me miss it. I have to say that. Yeah, plus you have originals and stuff you can sell. Afterwards, you have the originals if people wanted them. So you make double your money. Ox, don't hate me, but I think I'm going to use some. I'm not going to go totally silent on this comic anymore. I think I need to put some dialogue in, but I'm not going to do like lots of narrations and interior monologues and stuff. painted. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, I think I'm interested in still working digitally. But I'd like to like do the sketching and stuff all digitally and then get a light pad and then ink traditionally. I'd like to try some of that. But I could not do the I couldn't go back to doing it all on paper. I have like totally, but I could do everything, all the pencils, the roughs and everything else digitally and then ink some pages traditionally maybe. I really like digital though, and you know, once you get the thing about digital that's good is well, A, the undo, B, I've been doing it for a bazillion years, so I'm pretty conversant in a lot of things with it, but um what was I trying to say? What, you know, the initial outlay on the Cintiq was expensive, and the only reason I was able to purchase it was because I got a little bit of money when my grandmother died um, a couple years ago. Otherwise, I'd still have my old tablet. Um, but I do, in the long run, you do end up saving. Like, I don't have to buy all the expensive paper and paint and, you know, all the pens and the ink and all that I used to have. I used to, because I went to school I got a BFA in drawing, and so um, I used to do all digital. I've learned like oil painting, acrylics, watercolors, printmaking, drawing graphic. I learned all of that stuff, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I've like in my house, I've got like acrylic abstract paintings hanging up that I've done, and so sometimes I do miss getting my hands dirty, as it were. There is nothing like that, for sure. But as far as like convenience of just working, the digital is easy and cheap once you have the initial outlay of the stupid computer stuff. Oh my God. You like this brush better? Okay, I'll keep it then. Things don't look as stiff now, right? It helps like my work lot look so stiff, right? I mean, I'm still always going to be stiff, but at least my lines have some organicness to them now. I just, I get so uptight about it not being perfect. When I did ink back in the old days, I used dip pens. I used Crowquill pens. And brushes. I didn't use Rapidographs and Pigma Microns, all that, whatever microns. I didn't use those. I used dip pens, Crowquills, and paintbrushes to ink with back in the old days. But the Cintiqs weren't even invented back in the old days. Come on now. I'm old, remember. So if you guys get Clip Studio for the iPad, which I recommend, although for some reason it's subscription on the iPad, but it's not subscription for the desktop, which you just buy it outright. But for some reason it's a subscription and with a cloud service and everything for the. But anyway, so I don't have that. But what was I going to say about it? If you get that, this brush set by Daub Although, Zabethy, I know how you feel now about buying brushes. If you are going to buy brushes, I suggest this brush set, Daub, D-A-U-B. It has some really nice, more artsy-fartsy brushes in here. Oh, really? Well, you better take good care about that. Well, how long is that ink gonna last you, Ox? Is it, like how long will those refills last before you have to get another set? If you're gonna be there, oh yeah, just settle down, dog. Settle down. Oh, for your Copics. Okay. I have never tried Copics. That's one thing. Again, since I'm as old as dirt, um, back when I was still doing traditional, not very many people used Copics, and they weren't like you couldn't go buy them like you can now at like Michael's, Hobby Lobby, whatever. I don't think they just weren't on the radar. Not many people were using them, and so I never really. I mean, technical artists were and like architects and stuff, but like everyday hobbyists, artists, and in school nobody used them. It was all gouache and watercolor for illustration, and so I think they've gotten a lot more popular. So I missed the boat on learning them, and now I'm like digital lady, so they scare me though. They scare me. That's funny. Yeah, the anime. Well, yeah. See, again, anime was again when I was again because I'm so old. Not that wasn't mainstream when I was first collecting manga and stuff back in the 90s. That was not mainstream. That was just breaking. People didn't really know about anime and manga. It was just taking off. So I think all that stuff really hit in like the early 2000s. That's like the amazing thing about global. We've been like blessed with like so much that I didn't have growing up. YouTube, and you can learn about anything now. I feel like kids nowadays are like light years ahead of me because they have access to so much more knowledge than I did and so much more like hands-on or visual learning than I did when I was growing up. We just had books and no internet to talk to people and watch videos and live streams, and I feel like an old grandma talking like this. Yeah, the watercolors and the dyes. I mean, some of that stuff was gorgeous, and nobody does that anymore. Was there any like specific ones you were looking at, Ox? My life was sad. My life was sad. Yes, poor me. See, the pity. I need the pity. Why does she have one? I don't know. There was no anime on TV. I had to go to I had to get anime uh, from the video store, and there was like no TV series. It was all just movies. Oh, Preacher. Yeah, Preacher. I had a few early Preachers. I wonder if I still have any or if they all got destroyed. I'll have to look. So are you both in your late 20s, early 30s? How old are you guys? Do you mind my asking? I really don't have any idea how old you guys are. Yeah, Digimon and Pokemon started, and oh, Goku, whatever the hell that one was, Goku. I used to watch that on. I did come home and watch that from work. I'd come home and watch that while I was making dinner. Digimon, digital monsters. Digimon are the champions. Dragon Ball Z, that's what it is. Mid 30s. So you're both. Yeah. So I'm like freaking old compared to you guys. Old! Makes me sad. Just think, you guys are doing all this now. Like, and I wish I had been doing this when I was your age. I feel really old sometimes compared to all of the 100s people that I'm like too old to do it. But I'm just having a reaction because I just had a birthday and I turned 47. So the big 50 is looming, and I'm having a minor freak out. So don't mind me. I usually freak out. I don't usually freak out like on the big 40, the big 50. I usually freak out in the years leading up to it. Like after I hit the 5, like 45, I'm fine. But then those years between 45, 50, between 35, 40, 25, 30, that's when I freak out. Yeah, but I have been an illustrator, not a comic book artist. That's the difference. So I'm nervous about starting because I wanted to do this in my 20s and I didn't see. So that's why I feel like all weird about it. Because I've been putting it off for 20 years. And so. It's amazing every year how much more um, internet, how much more content. Even just a couple years ago, there wasn't as much on you. There wasn't like all the YouTubers and as far as like art, like all the art content that is just every year is more and more. Hey, are either of you guys watching My Hero Academia? Okay, I have. I'm still on. I haven't. What am I trying to say here? I just started watching the first season, and I haven't gotten through all of it yet. So like the last 2 weeks or whatever, I keep putting on periodically. But I'm curious because tried to read the manga first because I always try to read the manga of any kind of anime that and I hated the manga and I hated the art in the manga. And I thought, oh my god, why is this popular? Of course, I was probably reading a bad fan translation. So, but then I started the anime, and I think the anime is so much better than the manga. And the art, while it still has the creator's style, is better. Like you can see the designs are there, but the art is more polished or whatever. So I was just curious if you guys had, like, had any of the same experiences or whatever, thoughts on it. I like it, but I don't like it enough that I'm like obsessively streaming it. So I need to go. Maybe this weekend I'll watch some more and get caught up on it. Ox, which are some of your favorites? Because what are some of your Toriko? I'll write that down. Toriko. I haven't seen that one either. I'm trying to get caught on that because, like Ox, I watch a lot of old stuff over, and I'm trying to expand my. A lot of my TV watching, quite honestly, has been whatever. So now that my kid is like 11, I have been lost in a morass of kids shows for the last several years. But now I'm finally getting back into some of the stuff I used to like. I like to watch for myself. But he won't take any suggestions from me. He won't watch My Hero Academia with me. But I bet if he finds it if he had found it on his own and I hadn't mentioned it, he probably would have loved it. So. Abyss. I tried Yuri on Ice because everybody, all the, they all loved it, and it was okay. Sometimes I watch things that I wouldn't normally watch just to see what all the hubbub is about, to see what the kids love these days. What are the kids watching? What do the kids love? Plus, as a mom, I got to kind of stay up on some of this stuff so that I know what my kid's going to end up being involved with. Look at this. I didn't like Attack on Titan. Oh, Hellsing. I loved Hellsing. Hey, did you ever check out The Vagabond you said you were going to check it out after I waxed poetic over it? I'm going to write these down because I've heard of the ones you mentioned, but I haven't watched them all. So I used to be obsessed with, I loved Inuyasha and Mermaid, whatever it was. Rumiko Takahashi stuff. I love her. And as far as manga, I was in love with Battle Angel Alita, which wasn't the actual name. Super heartbreaking. Oh no. I don't know if I can do super heartbreaking. Kenshin Gurren. And of course, I really liked Full Metal Alchemist. I really liked that. Oh, but boy, was I obsessed with Inuyasha. I still love that show. And I have the manga. I really loved it. I don't think I have all the volumes, but I've got several over there on my shelf. I've got 20 some volumes. I don't know. I don't think there was an anime. I don't know. Don't watch Puella Madoka Magica. Now I'm going to watch it. It will kill my heart. Oh no. I'm still writing it down. What are you doing, dog? Are you okay? What the hell is that? Some random Madoka Magica. Super sad, huh? I'm going to write sad next to these. Yeah, I checked out One Punch Man because, the people like that too. And I actually liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I didn't finish the whole thing as far as all the manga, but I did read multiple. So you guys might think I'm crazy, but here's the thing. I can't, if it's super sad or super upsetting, or I can't, I don't life is too hard, right? Life is too upsetting, and I don't need to add more upsetting things to my life. So I like escapist crap. I don't mind things being dramatic and a little bit sad, because the characters need to have trouble thrown at them, but I don't like The Walking Dead, for instance, because I don't like zombies. They annoy me to no end because they're not possible. But, unless they're magic. And if they're magic, then it's possible. But, sorry, Ox. Except I like the way you're handling your story a lot. And I'm still curious as to why the zombies are the way they are in your books. But, and how that, when I read that one episode where he got to that town and the zombies were walking around, nobody was killing him. That was really interesting, and I'm curious to see. I don't think that was answered yet from where I'd read up to. So, but when I tried, so I was like, okay, I don't like because zombies are gross, right? And so I was like, my husband, by the way, is a huge Walking Dead fan, ridiculous. So I tried the first season and I was like, oh, I can't deal with this. It's too depressing. So then I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll try. I loved Invincible, so maybe I'll try. I'll try the actual. I should read the comic at least, or at least start. And it was so sad. It was even worse than It was even more upsetting than the, it was just so dark and upsetting. Really? I have to wait? Oh my God. So have you been reading? Then you got to read Ox's thing because it's got zombies in it, man. If you haven't already been reading his his thing. I just, oh, they drive me. If zombies are like magic, really honestly, if zombies are magic, I have way less of a problem. If they're demonic or magically controlled or, you know, but if they're scientific, it's a virus and because I'm such a, like, I get so upset about it because, like, the way the laws of physics work, at some point, they will not be able to move and they will not be a threat to you and they will decompose into just bones and nothing. If they're rotting, they will rot to nothing. And so eventually, within a matter of months, the worst of it shall be over, right? The worst of the zombie thing will be over. The majority of the population is dead. So the few survivors that will remain, like in The Walking Dead, if they know that everybody turns when they die and they just burn their dead, it should be pretty, like, reasonable to contain the apocalypse after a few months. If you can survive the first few months, you should be able to then fairly easily, I don't know. Anyway, it just so drives me nuts because they just defy the laws of physics. So unless there's magic involved, I get mad. And they're gross. Slow zombies especially bug me. Fast zombies are a lot more scary. Like, who did the movies with the super fast zombies? Was it like Rob Zombie or I don't know, some dang thing. Yeah, that's the fast zombies, right? 28 Days Later. I saw that movie. I don't know. I don't think I hated it. I also like zombies if it's comical. If it's funny. But I just don't like super serious scientific zombies. If they're magic or funny, or they're not exactly zombies, but there's some kind of revenant or something where they're like mindless and animalistic, but like actually like scientifically plausible, then like more like a ghoul, I can deal with that like better. Yeah, that's more like a ghoul to me, right? So that if they're like if they become animalistic, they've changed into something else and they have a different biology, but they still follow the laws of physics, then I'm a lot more down with it. So I'm a little bit afraid of reading Ox's thing because I feel like it's going to get really sad and I'm going to be really sad. It's already sad, but I feel like I'm worried that it's going to really make me really sad, Ox. And like, to give you an example, I will never watch, not because I hated it, but the last Star Wars movie. Jeremy's like, my husband, he's like, you're never going to watch it again? And I didn't hate it, so it's not because I hated it. I literally cried so hard at the end of that movie. I was crying like all the way out of the theater, in the movie, out of the theater, on the ride to get dinner. And it took me like a really long time to calm down. I was so sad. I was so sad. So I don't like to be sad like that. And then it sticks with me for days and I don't like that. Well, that's why I didn't say exactly why I was sad. But I was sad. So, but I didn't hate the movie at all, like some people do. I think like all of them, they all have their pluses and minuses, and so But I think I'm not a cool kid because I freaking love George Lucas so much. He single-handedly has done more for my life, I think, than anybody else in some ways. So I get really annoyed with like Lucas bashing. Ooh, zombie podcasts. Oh my God, you guys. Wow, I didn't even know such a thing existed. That's funny. You guys are funny. Zombie lovers unite. Are they role playing like they're in an apocalypse, or are they just talking about zombies? Ooh, that sounds interesting. My wrist is starting to get sore. So, any more recommendations for Ox on the podcast? All right, Ox, enjoy. Yeah, it is late. It's almost 3 here, so it's almost time for me to go to sleep too. Have a great day. Put some pictures on Insta of your new hair. Oops. Good night. All right, in about 5 minutes, I'm going to sign off. So, Bethy, yeah, you should go eat and have your wine, and I'll be around tomorrow as usual. Yeah, it's super late. It's super late. So, I'm going to take this dog out and go to bed in a minute. Thanks for coming by again. When you have that wine, you raise a glass for me, okay? I'll virtually toast you. Good night. All right, I will. Good night. I know, Doug. You ready? Are you so tired? Oh, are you so tired? Oh, you're so tired. Oh my gosh. Oh, so tired. You're tired, doggy. You're so tired. You want to go outside? You have to go outside before bed? You have to go outside? Yeah? All right, get down. I'll turn this off. Oh! All right. Adios, everybody. See you tomorrow.